Welcome to the Didi and Lital Show. Advice, thoughts, and stories from a married couple on cybersecurity, technology, and life in general. Now here are your hosts, Didi and Lital.
Hello and welcome to the Didi and Lital Show. Hi Didi, it's another week. You just came back from an awesome Bruins game?
Yes, hockey is back.
Hockey's back.
So remember the book A Tale of Two Cities? It starts with, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. The Bruins got shellacked on Tuesday 6-4 and smacked the Montreal Canadiens yesterday 6-4. This is Friday, October 10th, I think. 11, 12, something. Sometime in October.
10.
No, 11, because yesterday was 10, because that was the game.
Okay.
But anyways, nice win, good win. Drake May is going to open for the Patriots on Sunday. Dave, I don't know, there's multiple indexes that we're looking for. One is X-rays to interceptions. The other one is broken ribs to completions. Because that's the index that we will.
Do you think they shouldn't be playing him?
I think they shouldn't be playing anybody behind that O-line.
Well, I heard an interesting point that the offensive line stinks, and so yes, we could be throwing him to the wolves, but Jacoby Brissett stinks too, and so every defense has been playing every play like it's a goal line stand because they know he can't throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field. So maybe there's a little optimism. At least we get to see the new kid, right?
Yes, I do think he'll get killed. He'll kill. This is not the game I would start him on because that defense made Josh Allen run behind a more decent O-line, and Josh Allen is a moose.
Yes.
And he has actual receivers that can get open. Mm-hmm. So that's not the game I would start him on. So I have my concerns.
Okay. Well, election in the U.S. is coming soon, and we're not going to talk about presidential elections, but we just got the mail-in ballot yesterday.
Yes.
So, wow, it's early, but it is coming up. And in Massachusetts, you have this thing of questions that are being put on the ballot, and it's up for any individual to, gather enough signatures and to put something on the ballot, and it basically will change legislation. And question number 2 made us actually have a big discussion at home about it. So question number 2 is coming to Massachusetts from our lovely teacher union, the MTA, and they are looking to eliminate the standardized test called MCAS as a graduation requirement for kids. So basically, the point is this may hurt some kids that don't pass this test, and because of that, it should be removed. They're not saying to remove the test altogether. It is a test that kids in Massachusetts take multiple times. It's in science.
This is the first step in removing it altogether.
Yeah, it is the first step, probably. They have been against this test. They've been against standardized tests for a while.
They've been against tests in general.
Yeah. In general, they are kind of trying to drive us outside of accountability for teachers for the way they don't want us to know how good or how bad kids are doing in a standardized way. Obviously, as you may have know from our opinion, is that we support testing, and we're very much against any removal of accountability from anything. But I think it led us to a more interesting discussion, because when I posted in a few forums for people to be aware about question number 2 and to say no to it, because, let me take it one step so for people to understand. The test, it's a math, science, and basic English test taken in 10th grade. about less than, I think 3% of the kids don't pass it. And for those that don't pass it, again, it's very basic. If you fail to it, you still have 2 years to complete it, to graduate. And actually, the state knows to provide extra support to the schools that need it, that have, high failure rate, low grades in the MCAS. So it's a way to pinpoint which are those communities that are in risk of having kids not graduate and having kids not being at basic math levels. I mean, the test is not a 10th grade level test. It's more like maybe a 6th grade to pass. Yeah, Didi will say 4th grade. So basically, it's knowing how to do basic calculation in your grocery store, or to understand, what percentage is.
It's not even that.
Be able to kind of like understand your bills.
For a sec.
Yeah.
There's a part in the movie Idiocracy when there's like a question of...
One of the best. If you never seen Idiocracy,
eventually,
we live in that.
Eventually it becomes less good, but at least the first 30 minutes...
The beginning, yeah.
The beginning is like rock solid.
Yeah.
So there's like a part that says, if Dave gave Didi $3, how many dollars does Didi have? That's the math question. It's not even connect 3 plus 2. It's...
Maybe you have more than that.
Listen, it's these level of questions. It's that it is the basic level of idiocracy.
You don't want a person that didn't pass this test to be a policeman.
Yes, you don't want a person. It's not okay for us. So this is something that is called eventual structured poverty. So the nice communists in our future that run some of the stuff here, what they would like to have is that the majority of the population will have basic income that will be derived from taxes that are derived from the productive people in the population. That's kind of a real vision. And what's happening is because they see that the jobs are kind of moving away. Eventually there will be no jobs. And that's a little bit of a grim thing, and I think we're moving past this. One of the things that I wanted you and I to talk about is not your point about the MCAS, is to ask a simple question. Is learning for the test a valuable life skill?
Yeah, that's because I was about to get to that. When I posted about it in all the Facebook groups to get people be aware and involved and learn about why they should vote no, a lot of parents told me, the test is wrong because kids learn for the test. Kids waste time learning for the test instead of learning for learning. And they're like, that's a waste of teachers' time, and that's a waste of kids' time, and that's wrong. Learning for the test is wrong. And it made me think, like, automatically I was like, no, it's not right that they don't teach, they teach the material. But then I was like, hold on a second. And then it's like when I came to the daily talk when we are in, taking a shower or something with Didi, and I was like, why do people say it's bad to learn for the test?
Because they're stupid.
Learning for the test is probably as important as generally learning for something, and maybe more important.
It's more important.
And we started a discussion, and we want to also get
share the discussion with you.
Yeah, because we had an aha moment that actually learning for the test is one of the best way to let kids see how the real world acts. And it's, you have a deadline. You have a very defined goal. Go pass the test. It's very much like life, like work. It's very rare that in school you get those circumstances that are a good prediction of how life is going to be. Learning for the test has a lot of it. So let's unpack it. What are your thoughts?
So here are things that the Communist Party is trying to take away from us. And
I thought you said you're not going to talk politics, and now you're kind of like...
Communism is a state of mind. There's like a perception that kids need to be happy. And we are going to talk about the intensive parenting in another podcast.
Well, the pursuit of happiness is a basic
Pursuit.
civil right
Pursuit.
in your constitution.
Pursuit. Not finding
The
it.
question what happiness is.
Who the fuck cares? You can pursue it. Now, you don't necessarily
Winning
think
scoring great
on a test.
grade on a test
So
is a
let's-
pursuit of happiness.
Let's go back to the test.
Okay.
So things that tests let you have. So here are things that you need to learn about life. Deal with stress. Life is full of stress.
Yes.
If the first time you meet stress is at 18, you will collapse. You need to get stress from day.
It's not even 18 because you go to college, and college now you don't want you to learn for the test, and they kind of like. So maybe
this is awesome. So
your first time you're gonna have stress is when your boss tells you that
you have a deadline.
you have a deadline or what you did is not that good. You need to fix it.
Yes. So that's the other thing. There's stress. There's timeline. There's also JFDI. One of the most important things in life, most of your life, is JFDI.
What is JFDI?
Just fucking do it. It's if there's one thing in DD management life you need to learn is everything in life is a JFDI or a discussion. If it's a JFDI, I'm not gonna open the discussion. And most of life is a JFDI. If you are hiring in a major evil corporation today, you have to follow federal rules. It's not negotiable. It's not a conversation. You have to follow the stupid rules. It's no time to have a conversation. Just do it. There's a million things in life that nobody's going to give you a nice explanation. You'll just have to fucking do it.
Which is just like the test. If you think about it, it has a specific structure. It has, you need to follow whatever it is. And, you cannot argue your grade. You can start arguing. Many of the kids go argue in most of the cases. The best outcome they can get is a retake. You need to do the whole thing and get stressed again.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
That's a great thing.
You learn about consequences.
Yes.
You learn about consequences.
You
And if
didn't learn for the test. You redo it.
Exactly. You fail.
You fail, and
you learn
then at
about-
best you can retake. Usually, even if you retake and you get 100%, you're not going to score 100%. It will be the average between the two
And
grades.
the most important thing, you learn that you're not as smart as you think you are. Everybody needs a nice kick in the nuts once in a while. Everybody needs a nice kick in the nuts, even if you don't have nuts. So people need an occasion. And the last thing that is most important is people, by general, are not these amazing philosophers. Sartre is not going to come back from his grave. Foucault is long gone. Most
Thank
people,
goodness.
no, I love him. And I think most people are not these free, amazing thinkers. And they will never be free, amazing thinkers. People are warrior ants. They need to just basically told what to do what they do, live their lives, and not be these creative, amazing thinkers because they're not. And most of the time in life, you need to learn the basics to be able to function in society. And some of these things, like math, it takes a very long time of just practicing and drilling. It's very much like hockey. You need to learn how to skate. You need to learn how to shoot. You need to learn your positioning. You need to, and the same.
Handle the stick.
Handle the stick. Understand everything and how these things work together. How the team works together. And most of these things.
Understand your position. Stick in your position.
Exactly. And you drill and you drill and you drill and you drill. If you want to be successful in math in life, before you actually become a philosopher that understands high grade math, you need to drill and drill and drill and drill before you can actually get your creative thinking in place. If you want to be able to write effectively and not let ChatGPT write for you, or even criticize how ChatGPT writes for you in an effective way, you need to read a lot and you need to write a lot. And you need to drill these things over and over and over and over again. My mom's generation, when they studied for Bible class or literature class, they had to study parts by heart so they can ingest, understand the grok, the material.
You're in anatomy class for.
You need to-
You learned every single part of the body.
Over and over and over.
You have
and
to know them by heart. You need to know
them by
the
heart.
Latin name.
That part I don't know if it's but the building the skill to study, even study for the test, ingest a lot of content at a given time, is by itself a skill. And I think studying for the test is one of the most important skills in life you should have. And educating and teaching not to study for the test, I think, is a problem that is the face of lack of excellence in education. Our desires for the kids to not achieve and not measure. And by the way, eventually in life, everything is on a curve.
Everything is measured.
It's not just
Everything is
It's
measured.
not just everything is measured.
You will not get a promotion if you're not moving the needle, if you're not making your team better, if you're not contributing more. You will not. So stop thinking things are not measured. Everything is measured.
Yeah. And you're not showing. So, for example, if you are in a company, if the company's not making money, it's not there for kumbaya. So it's not there to hold hands. Your boss is not there to love you. Your boss is there to make sure that
The company makes
money.
revenue.
And if the company's not making money,
Everybody will go home eventually.
exactly. If you're not a productive member of society, and productive means making money. That's why I started with the communism part. People need to understand that eventually everybody is here to make money, because if you're not making money, if you're not manufacturing, money is a predictor and a metric for manufacturing and creation. If you were in an agrarian society, you would be measured by how much grain you generate or
The
something like that.
harvest.
If you were in a hunter society, you'd be measured by how much stuff you gather or hunt, because otherwise you starve.
And if you're in tech society, you're measured by the code you write,
You're measured by the code you write,
the
or
quality of it, and what it produces.
or how much people like the stuff you create, and how much it's consumed.
Consumed and used and paid for.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's not understanding the structure of society. And not
Everything is measured at the end of the day, but you manufacture something, you produce a code. Is it being used? Is it being consumed? Are people paying money to use it?
Yes. So going back to the study for the test, let's look at studying for the test in the various spaces and the various things. So let's start with math. When you learn for a test in math, there's basic stuff in math that everybody needs to know. And after that,
Arithmetic.
exactly. And after the basics in math, if you're unable to do the basics, or even how to use a calculator or understand how math works, you can't balance your salary. You go into overdraft. You need to learn the basics of math. And after you learn the basics of math, if you want to achieve more in math, as I said, it's like hockey. Until I took the high-end tests with Yoel Geva and had to drill and drill and drill, I always thought that I can do math out of my head, because most of the time I can look at most math questions and answer it in my head in like 3 seconds. But to get to the higher level of math, I needed to learn how to skate again. So basically I had to learn over and over and drill and drill and drill. And then you're able to get back to your higher analytics. When you talk about literature, when things are crammed in your mind into tests, at least most of the stuff that you study for the test, things that I studied, like Crime and Punishment and all the rest of the shit, where the ducks...
You retain it in your brain.
You retain it in your brain.
You retain it better.
Yes.
Because you repeat it, you go in depth. You were forced to retain the knowledge
and that's
of
how
things you learned for
and
the
that's how
test.
I know that Ron is Holden Caulfield. And so these are things that that are beat into you, you remember. And I learned Crime and Punishment at age 16, and I still remember all the bullshit about the color yellow and
I only remember the old lady stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you see, you remember and you understand.
You cannot undo Dostoevsky from your brain.
Exactly. And it's important.
Yeah.
And the same thing comes for other elements of learning through history. Studying history, understanding the dates, understanding things means that you and I will never forget who Winston Churchill is, unlike our kids who learned it in passing. So this is the stuff that has to be drilled into you, because when you talk about history, learning history is something that is very well known, that if you don't study and know how to memorize things, it actually helps how your brain wiring works better. People that, like, there was a study done for cabbies, pre-GPS and post-GPS, and the pre-GPS cabbies, like your dad, have a map of the world in their head.
That's the London taxi drivers.
Yes.
London taxi drivers need to memorize each and every street in London and its suburbs and know it by heart. Even nowadays, that there is already GPS. It's a prerequisite, and it solves so many problems. The fact that they will know any possible route, they will go. It's needed.
Yeah.
And it's a capability that is eroding.
And the functional MRI parts of their brains show that their navigation is a lot more fluid, even when they do drive with the GPS. And this is the amazing part of some of these things. If you stop drilling your brain is your body is a very specific machine. It's built for efficiency. And efficiency...
I mean, the brain anyhow is 20% of your energy consumption. So evolutionary, from an evolution standpoint, the brain wants to minimize the consumption of energy.
Yes.
So if we don't force it to work hard, it will not work hard.
Yes. And pathways go away.
Yeah.
And eventually...
It's like a muscle.
It's like a muscle. And eventually you become dumb. So
the whole society becomes dumb. And
Yes.
that's the result of not having tests. That's
Yes.
the problem. That's my worry about this trend. We start with eliminating as a graduation criteria, then we eliminate it at all, and then we eliminate tests altogether. And we already have a really declining education system. That will be the end of it.
And the education system and besides that, right now machines are going to replace us and machines, I mean even computerized machines, will replace us in more and more things.
Yeah, AI is coming.
Exactly. People that don't know how to think will be replaced by AI, and will be replaced by machines. And that's not an idle threat. That is reality. So you can either use AI or lose it to AI. Now, from my perspective, there's another element with tests that are critical. One is problem solving. You come to a test. So one of the things when I was teaching how to take the Israeli equivalent of SATs, I told people, look at the answers. Forget about what the question is. Look at the answers. If two answers are counter opposites, now you've eliminated 2 out of 4 answers.
What do you mean by counter opposites?
So sometimes you look at
you have multiple. I mean, the psychometric test. You always have multiple choice, 4 choices.
Yes, you have 4 choices. 2 are opposites. Like Didi's a girl, Didi's a boy.
Okay.
Bad choice. Yes, exactly. The things that are opposites. So the light is on, the light is off.
Okay.
You read the opposite the paragraph, and you're supposed to say if the light is on or the light is off. If there's any other options, there is no light. Blah blah blah. Those are confounders. Now you know that you need to read something.
You start with the answers and then read the passage or the question because you already kind of like
focus on getting the answers. It teaches you how to problem solve.
Yep.
Sometimes you look at the question itself. It's built for guessing. And it teaches you that sometimes in life, there's uncertainty and you have to guess.
Yep.
Building that guessing, building that not being spoon-fed is also a very important
Guessing
skill.
is very important. Having intuition is very important. All those, the SATs that people were like so much against it's beyond the material itself that it covers, as you're saying, it has those kind of brain skills of guessing, having an intuition, and being able to be methodical about time management. It's a very stressful test in terms of the time you have, and maybe skip it and get back to it because you don't know and go through those questions for sure.
Yep.
So having a methodology is another way that is transferable to so many areas in life. When you do your day-to-day job and you have a deadline, how do you go about it? How you slice and dice and prioritize your day, your week, your work? Like, start with the things you know are easy and you know them for sure, and leave to, or maybe the opposite. Start with like the really hard problems when you're in your day-to-day life, and give it the time. And it's could be the opposite, but it's the way to think, to manage yourself. Kids today are not aware of the way they think. I think the most important thing is not just to learn for the test, the material of the test. It's not about the Holden Caulfield. It's about how you think, knowing your strength and weaknesses. Kids are not aware. If you don't let kids experience testing, failing, succeeding, seeing where they are, they have no awareness whatsoever about what they're good at, what they're bad at. Not just subjects. I'm good at biology and I'm good at chemistry, which also they should know. And if you don't test them, they think they're great in everything.
Like Ron.
Or Leah, which is not the case. Like, I saw Leah this week. She had her first test in biology for the year, and she's trying to go to honors. She's currently at advanced level. She wanted to go one level up, and she failed the test of the honors level because she couldn't answer all those molecular macromolecules when there were drawings of the molecules and there were questions about the functional groups on it. And number one, they teach chemistry terribly here, and there was an expectations that the kids just know it, so that's another problem. But the fact is, I told her, hey, you're just bad in that. Like, you don't know that. You screwed up your test. You did know the kind of like fundamental knowledge of what glucose and what is the different from lactose and so, but when it came to looking at the formula, this is where you broke and you didn't know it. So now you know that you're missing this knowledge and you need to go learn it, or decide that you don't want to learn it ever, which is a shame, but you will not be in honors. You will be in the level of all you know is the name of the molecule and you don't know how it actually built. Maybe it's knowledge that is enough for you in your life, but if you really want to know chemistry, well, you do need to know how the molecule structure works. So not learning for the test, she thought she's great in biology. No, she's not. Reality call, reality check, and basically being aware of your gaps and where you need to invest. So that is something we see more and more employees not being aware of the skills or where are the shortcomings. Self-awareness can only come from somebody. We all think we're amazing. Like everybody, how is it called? There is like a fallacy that when being asked, how much the Dunning-Kruger, yes, exactly.
Effect.
Exactly. Everybody is. You want to explain what is it?
Yes, we have 3 episodes that we explained it.
Yeah, we'll say it again because we love it.
Yes. So everybody, when asked about skills that they have, like if I ask Lital how she drives, she'll think that she's above average.
Everybody's above average, which by definition cannot be.
Yes, because by definition, 50% are below average. Now, what happens? So
same with your intellect or how good you are with anything.
No, it's more than that. It's the less skilled you are, the more likely you are to answer that you're above average. That's the important part.
So not being able to withstand a third party, a test, an assessment, a human being in work giving you feedback, which is unfortunately the reality of kids not being taught to be able to get feedback, telling them that, they're not going to be happy because of tests. That means that at the end of the day, they cannot deal with reality that tells them that even though they think they're above average, the reality is the hell not. Yeah. That's the reality. We need to start it as early as possible, and kids need to face reality.
That they're not unique snowflakes.
Nobody is.
They are worker bee or
nobody is. We are not.
I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. What do you talk about?
Sure.
I'm awesome.
So
Yes.
bring tests again. You need to learn for the test.
Make test great again.
Learning for the test is crucial. Make sure tests stay. And if you're in Massachusetts, please vote no on question number 2.
Yes. So as we were writing this down, now I have an important question for you. Where do the ducks go when the pond freezes over? Because
we will see soon with our river.
Exactly.
Hopefully, I don't know if it's going to freeze.
It's
It
not
hasn't
gonna
been freezing for
It's not going to freeze,
a few years.
but that's the philosophical question.
Well, with that, go vote no matter what. It's important, very critical times. The Didi and Lital Show, it's a weekly podcast. Please rate and review us wherever you get your podcast. I cannot say the words today. I hope you had a great time with us. We had a great time. See you next time. Thanks, Didi.
Thanks, Lital.
Bye-bye.
Bye.